Hi, my name is Monica Puerto, and I'm a data scientist. So today we're going to talk about what is data science. So let's break it up into two parts. The first, data. It's a collection of characteristics that can be measured. Simple things like how tall I am or how tall you are. Data can even be measured in words or symbols. Second, science. Science is the study of evidence that can help explain our world more closely, kind of like digging up old fossils in the past to help us understand the past. How did Albert Einstein know about black holes in our galaxies without ever seeing one? He used data to help approximate reality. That is simply what data science is. It is using data to learn more about what we don't know or help us validate things that we do know, and thus we can make future predictions. We can have millions or even billions of data points. It is very hard to visualize all that information and understand. We need fancy computers and technology that can make sense of this data puzzle. One of the things data scientists like myself create with computers are called models. No, not models like the people in magazines, but models that contain math and logic in the form of code. The main duty of a data scientist is to create these models that can help make sense of our world and predict the future. So, what's the history of data science? One could argue since the 17th century, where people were trying to study Earth and the moon, and they used data and math to make sense of the world. The difference is they don't have millions or billions of data points that we have access today, depending on the subject you are studying. So it's hard to answer this question because you could say it's been around for thousands of years, but if we define it in modern terms, it was really when the mobile phone came into our lives and the era of big data was born in the 21st century because we had access to store large sizes of information thanks to technology. So what does the future look like to a data scientist? So I can't really answer that question without answering where does the present look like now? Right now, the title data scientist is very broad. So a data scientist can be expected to do a lot of things from cleaning data, storing data, analyzing the data, visualizing the data, and finally predicting with the data. Since we can measure almost anything, data science can be very broad. So I think in the future, there'll be more specific roles. And as technology advances and computing power increases, we'll see advances in many different areas, such as in the last 5 years, we've seen a lot of advances in computer vision that's helping the computer see. So we'll see things in the future like driverless cars, where people now are working on that problem. So what are some challenges about being a data scientist? It can be very overwhelming, learning all the different ways to analyze the data and build models. But the more you concentrate on a specific area, the better, because it can be very broad. And the more broad a role is, the more they expect you to know a little bit of everything. What are some good things about being a data scientist? I like to think that I'm helping people with data science. Um, it is very exciting after you have done the hard part of cleaning, transforming the data, visualizing the data, and you start uncovering patterns. It's like making sense of reality when done correctly, and it can be used for good, such as helping farmers predict crop yields in the future, understanding climate change, creating chatbots to help people questions get answered, translating language for people to speak to others, and helping people find reliable information. In the end, I think it's an exciting thing to help people and make the world a better place with data. How much do data scientists get paid? It depends for who you work for. Overall, they are the higher paid jobs in any type of industry, and they're highly in demand. But it can range pretty drastically depending on the company. So for example, tech companies like Google, Twitter can pay their data scientists pretty well. But other companies that are smaller, or maybe some nonprofits, pay their data scientists under six figures. Governments have also started hiring data scientists or statisticians at the local level, state, or even federal level. And you can make pretty good money there as well. So, since it's so sought out, it leads me to the next question on what you need to know. So, what is the special education required for data scientists? It is indeed very special because it's practically the fusion of two practices. It is the fusion of computer science and math and statistics. That is the premise of machine learning. You have to know how to code well, but you have to know and should know what the code is actually trying to accomplish. If not, it's just this big black box. A lot of the algorithms that we use are based on math or statistical methods. So make sure you take those classes seriously. The language of choice for data scientists is either Python or R. R is favored in academia or government, and Python is favored outside of those industries, especially in tech. So what makes you a good data scientist is knowing math, stats, and knowing how to code. So what are some other names and titles of data scientists? Again, this is where I think the future of data science is going. It's getting more specific. So we'll see roles such as machine learning engineer, natural language processing engineer, computer vision engineer. What are the most popular companies hiring data scientists? The ones with all the data. Think of companies that are in your everyday household, your Netflix, your Facebook or Instagram, your iPhone, even your electricity. Anyone that has a large customer base. If you can measure it and data gets populated, often people will need to make sense of it and hire data scientists to help them understand. Where do data scientists tend to work? Well, right now, in the COVID era, at home. But personally, I like working in space. But before and after COVID, it depends on the company. This job can be done 100% remotely. A data scientist can work anywhere there is Wi-Fi and with a device with plenty of computing power. So what can you do to learn more to become a data scientist? So much, but I'll try to be concise. Talk to a fellow data scientist like myself. There are a bunch of them on LinkedIn. Ask your parents or teachers if a data scientist can come talk to your class. Read books. Books can vary widely by comprehension. Some of my stats books can be hard to understand because they have special symbols in Greek, like alpha, beta, or psi. And the concepts can be hard to grasp, but you can do it. Be patient with yourself and be realistic where you are at and look for books that are easier to understand or lean on someone who can help explain them to you. Watch videos. If you are a visual learner like myself, there are a ton of video material to help strengthen your mind in math, stats, and coding. So what are the things that you should focus on? I like to think that a data scientist needs to strengthen the right part of the brain and the left side of the brain. Your right brain focuses on being creative, and your left brain helps you think logically and critically. So things that strengthen both are coding. You will use both sides of your brain to create code that makes visual charts or creates software. They need to be readable and easily understandable to someone else looking at your code. And you have to explain how logically it works. As stated earlier, data science is the fusion of computer science, stats, and math. So definitely focus on subject areas in school. It'll help you in the future. So what makes for a great data scientist? 5 things. Passion, number 1. Someone who is passionate about the subject matter. Data science is hard, but you can do it, and it helps to be invested in the purpose. Collaboration. Even though a lot of it you can do solo, it's really helpful if you like working with others. You can build things together and even work with non-data scientists because they are the subject matters of the data you're looking at and they have context. So they can help you understand your input and output of your model. Know math and stats, number 3. Number 4, know how to code well. And number 5, resilience. Because data science has changed a lot in the last 5 years, and it might change again in the next 5. So someone who loves to learn all the time and is okay with constantly learning will do well in this field. So what does a data scientist do all day? Lots of things. In no particular order, I could be reading upon data science innovations and methods that researchers have uncovered. Or I could be the researcher myself and be working on something maybe someone has never done before. I could be cleaning data, transforming the data, analyzing my algorithm's performance, or talking to a subject matter expert to get feedback or input. I'm coding, I'm reviewing someone else's code, or I could be in meetings, lots of meetings. Depends on the culture of the company. It is never a dull day as a data scientist, but your day-to-day will be highly influenced by the company and the team you work for. So it depends. But in a nutshell, you never stop learning, and you're helping solve problems, and you're communicating your findings. Thank you.